Thank you very much for your warm support and kind words while I was in the hospital. I am out and everything is okay. So we're back to normal. My sincere apologies for having to close the live feeds that we were doing. I promise you that we will reschedule it sometime next week. So you should set your notification to get the notification this week, because during the week, I'll be publishing the links for next week. So starting next Monday, the next Friday, we'll reschedule the 1 week free that we had. We had 2 weeks, but we'll reschedule 1 week at a time. So you will have access to the free sessions we do. Good afternoon. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. My name is Anil Mangal, and today I'll be doing the weekly outlook. If you've never seen any of my videos before and you're watching this one for the very first time, please go to my channel and check some more videos out. We use a system that I've created called wave analysis. And it's an amazing way of making forecast. Accuracy is really great. If you would like to join our group, send me a Skype message. The Skype link is in the description. Click on it, send me a message, and you will have all the details of how you can join us. For those of you who follow me regularly, you might have noticed that this week we are testing something new, and that is short videos. So these short videos, they're about 30 seconds maximum, from 7 to 30 seconds they're going to be. Very rarely it's going to be more than 30 seconds. It's called Trade of the Day. So we're testing this. Here is what it's going to look like. And as you can see in this video, if you watched it in 30 seconds, that means I'm assuming that if you're one of my followers, you watched this already. I'm going to show you the video that I think could happen within the day, the trade that could happen within the day. I'll show you the entry, I'll show you the stop, and I'll show you where I'm targeting for that trade. That is the trade of the day. Now, for those of you who understand my strategy, if this comes beyond the low, the trade is canceled. So this was a testing one. In the trading room, in the live session, we canceled the trade because it went beyond the low. That trade is not valid. We're still expecting the up move, but that specific trade is no longer valid. Now, when I do the weekly outlook, you will see, and I will explain how and what we're going to do. If you understand the strategy I use, and if you do decide to probably, if you see the same trade I see and you would like to trade on your own and take the trade, what I can do for you is about 2 or 3 hours after the trade, after this short video is posted, if there is any trigger in the trade, which means if the trade is triggered and it's going to go or it's not going to go, I'm going to post an update, which means a second video to this, telling you whether we close the trade, we're still in the trade, we moved our stop, or we took profit, right? If the trade didn't go, which means the trade didn't trigger, then I wouldn't be posting any update. There's no need to do. That trade simply didn't trigger. You cancel the trade and you go for an next trade, right? I would like you to leave your comments on it. I would like you to click the like on it, and I'd like you to share it. It's 30 seconds. And it's a real trade setup that we are taking in our trading room. It may or may not happen, but it's a trade setup. That's what setups are. You wait for the setups, and if they go, you get the trade. If they don't go, for the day, we are probably looking at about 20, 30 trade setups in our trading room. So I would be posting only 1 or 2. If you would like to get all the setups we do, you can join our live sessions. Again, if you want to know how to do that, you will get access to 2 live sessions a day. That is the New York Open and the London Open. If you would like to join those live sessions, send me a Skype message, and I will answer you. The Skype link is in the description. Just click on the link, send me a message, say you would like, hey, I would like to know more about your live sessions, and I would send you. Now, once again, thank all of you for your kind words. Those who didn't know I was in the hospital, I hope you didn't regret missing those thing, or you were not angry at me about missing it. We will reschedule it. Let's start. So dollar index, I'm going to go with the dollar index. I'm going to make it very short this time, because remember, you can have access to those live sessions where we do all the details and the setups and everything. So dollar index broke out. And last week, if you remember, I was telling you there are 2 things you're going to be looking for here. The possibility that it go down and break out. My bias was to the upside because we're consolidating there. So we broke out. What you're going to look for now is the possibility that, 1, it either retests the top and then go down. It will go down eventually. Or 2, this is the first impulse of a bigger consolidation here. Something like this, 1, 2, 3. So when you're looking at that possibility, you're going to go in the lower time frame, like the 4 hours, and you're going to start to see if we're getting some kind of a divergence. We're getting divergence here. Now, I don't think this is the end of this move, because I can see that there's a possibility we're consolidating here. And if we consolidate it there, that means at least one more impulse up. Now, we have this move down that is not quite with anything as yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pull back first and then go. Right? That's something we would look for based on patterns that we have. So you can go on the 1 hour now and you can decide whether you have a trade setup. On the 1 hour, we have a buy setup, which means this should go at least one more up. At least one more up. Now, here's the thing. Can we just break the top and reverse? That is possible. And if you understand the strategy of how we trade and how we do trade management, even if we take this trade and it does that, and within a couple hours, we are out of that trade for either a very small loss or break even. 80% of the trades that you are losing right now, you could have closed for break even. And that would have definitely changed your account. So in the live session, I promised you guys that I would look at 5 accounts. I was in the hospital, we couldn't do it, but when we repeat that next week, any one of you who are willing to show me an account, the past account, the account that you blow, an account that is upside down, we're going to go through it one-on-one. It's a one-on-one thing with me and you. We're going to go through it, and I'm going to show you where and how you could have closed those trades based on very strict rules. It's not random. These are strict rules that we use. And that will give you an idea of what your account would look like if you'd follow those rules. Now, I can tell you from the feedback that I'm getting from traders who have joined me now, who wish they had joined me 6 months ago or a year ago. And in details, they would explain to me, that actually one trader went back to his account and said, the account is gone, it's blown, but I went back and I looked at the rules you gave me, because he's now with us in the group and he's looking at those rules and he's looking at all the trades that he lost and what he should have done with those trades based on our rules. The amazing thing is his account would still be alive today and in profit. That's it. Now, you may say, well, that's just one trader. How about we do 5? How about we do 10 if you want? So join us in the live sessions and we'll do as many as you want. We'll do them and you will see the difference. Trading is about probability. And if the probability is not on your side and you can get out for a much less loss than you probably had initially wanted to lose, that's the amazing thing about being a successful trader. So let's go. I'm expecting this to go up, and then we will probably see a pullback happen. There's a very high probability for a pullback, after which it will still continue to go up. So the trade, if I have to go for a trade for Monday morning, it will be a buy on this one. I'm going to take all of these out. These are codes for trades that we're looking at in our trading room. I'm just going to take them off very quick, and let's go. So I'm going to look at all the majors. Let's look at silver. Silver is going down. At some point, we have this move here. So on Friday, we were expecting this to go back up. It went a little lower. We didn't sell it because we saw that, but that's not a trade. Until it pulled back, I will not be trying this, because if you sell here, you'll have to have a stop here. And it didn't move that much. So when it makes a pullback, we will definitely be looking for a sell. Maybe we'll get a buy or not. I'm expecting this to pull back somewhat. The only way we're going to be selling this is if it actually consolidates here a lot. So if you get a flat here, then it will be a sell. As of now, there's a possibility for a pullback and then they drop. So let's see what that does. Gold, same thing, went down a little more. So gold didn't really move Friday because it literally stayed where it is. It was here when we closed Friday. This is all that happened. That is a sell setup. Here's the problem with this. You got to be careful. There's a lot of sharp pullback here that if you break this low, likely is going to happen. A pullback like this would be a sell setup. Now, would we get a buy setup in this? Definitely not. Most likely, it even looks like a short-term sell here, but not a sell that I would take. Not until I get a pullback like this or a pullback like this. So there are at least 2 pullbacks you need to get before you can get a sell setup. One of them would be okay. Euro going down. Same thing. We have this sharp wave here. See this sharp wave here? At some point, we're going to get a sharp wave here. Well, it consolidated. It didn't really go anywhere. It dropped a little during the day. Friday afternoon, we were expecting this to go back up. It didn't. It stays there. There's a sell setup forming here. The problem with this is that it might just break the low and go back up. So you can take the trade, but you have to have the capability of getting out of the trade if it's not going to drop. Right? So that's a sell setup. But if it just breaks the low and go back up, that's where you have to be careful. In the bigger picture of things, that probability of that happening is just increased quite a lot. You have divergence here, and this is going down really slow. A pullback like this would give us a running flat, and then the sell becomes amazing. So if we get a pullback Monday, the sell would be perfect. Pong dropped. We actually saw that one. Some of my traders took it as an aggressive trade. This is the only one we sold because there was an aggressive sell setup forming there. You could have seen that. And then in the afternoon, we had the news was there. We were trying to see whether this was going to spike up. Well, it didn't, but it's at a low. So no sell setup at that point. What we would look for is a move up back to the top here and then the sell setup. Now that would be a buy. So we'll definitely be looking for a buy setup Monday if we see that up move happen. If it doesn't happen, well, then no big deal. You're not sell. I would not be selling the pound at this level, not here, right? So based on the strategy and the method that we use, that is not a good sell setup, even if it goes. Aussie dropped. And the same thing, we were here Friday. We have this one. So at some point we were expecting this. They're all going to drop more. This is going to go a little more. But then we were expecting them to go back up. So the first drop, you got to be careful if you're trying to sell it. There's a good chance it's going to go back up. Now, Aussie, there are two ways you can look at it. I showed you the daily structure, and we spoke about that sometime earlier this year as well. So we looked at this move up and we're thinking, well, this could go here, make a running flat, come back, retest the low, and then go back up, right? Eventually, it's going to go up. That is how these patterns develop, right? So here's a question. Is it going to come and do that? Because we could also look at this as a possible bigger flat somewhere in here. And that means this is just a pullback to go up. Now, here, if you look at that and you said, well, you just showed us two possibilities, the upside and the downside, and that's true. And both of those possibilities are really, really, really valid. So which one is it going to be? You don't have to know that. The amazing thing about the method we use is you don't have to know which one is going to come. You have to know how to find the confirmation of which one is coming. So if it is going to go up and you get the confirmation for the upside, then you buy. If it is going to go down, it will create the confirmation for the downside, and then you sell. Right now, it's going down, so we're already selling. We're sellers in here. All we need is a flat. We need this to pull back here for a flat, and then we will be going for the sell setup. We might even consider the buy in that Monday morning if we're here and we got a good setup, and it's give you at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward. That would be a buy setup on a lower time frame, the 1 hour, right? So we can come in the 1 hour, and if we get a setup to buy, we'll take the trade. Right now, it's a sell setup, right? So this is really small. I would just let this drop, pull back. We'll consider that trade, but then we'll definitely be selling. So within the day, just within Monday, the trade setups in this on the Aussie dollar could change from a buy to a sell and then back into a buy again. So it's not static, it's wave analysis, which means you might get a number of different trade setups within the day on the same instrument, depending whether you're short-term or you're long-term. New Zealand was the only one that actually had a sell setup, which means they were consolidating here. For us, it would have been a sell had it broken the top, so we would expect a 1, 2, 3 break the top and go. When they make contracting flats like this, it's difficult to sell. We saw it and we even assumed there's a possibility for contracting flat, but we didn't take the trade, so we'll just wait. Right now, these trades are very nice, so we'll wait here to see what happens at this point. Like all of them, New Zealand could go down a lot more, right? It could go down a lot, retest the low, or it's just making a bigger flat here. I'm more inclined to believe we're making a bigger flat here. I think we spoke about that earlier, about 4 or 5 webinars back. You can go and check that they might be making a bigger consolidation here before they take off. Okay, this one is coming from a low point. This is the lowest point it was years back, if you look at the bigger pattern. So if you go to the daily and you look at that, this was the daily low. We got to move up. We never broke the low and we are coming up. So you notice when they were going up, they made a big consolidation here and a big consolidation here. So there's a good chance we're making a big consolidation here, which would be continuation to the upside. So now that it is at the low of this structure, and if you understand how patterns develop, you'd be careful of any sell at this point. If it drops, wait for the buy setup. So we're going to wait and see which one of those happen, right? Yen consolidating. It's correcting. We saw that. Yen was the only one you probably had a buy setup. This is pushing upwards. I don't think it's going to break the top. So the only question we have to ask ourselves now is that, remember we said this would come down and go back up. So we had two possibilities of where it could come before it goes. Put it on the weekly. One is it's going to be equal to this in terms of size, equal to this, and that is this one. And the second one, well, it might just go a little deeper before it goes back up. Right? So which one is it? Could it be that we're just finishing off this one? Because if you notice where it stopped, it's actually the equivalent of this. So can we make the assumption that this one is going back up? If that is the case, would we go with this as the running flat? This is 1, 2, 3, and this goes up. Right? So that possibility exists, but I don't think, again, I'm not inclined to believing that is what it's doing. I think we will go lower. I think there's a good chance this will drop one more even before it goes back up. So we'll wait and see. It's going up right now. There was a buy setup there. We saw the trade, but there was no risk to reward in the trade. Again, you're at the top of the structure. There is no risk to reward in that trade. So not because it moves from here to there, you can buy it. Because then where would you put your stop? How would you decide to exit had it, has it not really gone very far? So what I'm expecting is any pullback here, and I think we should get a pullback at some point. And then we look for the buy setup. Let it pull back because it will. It always does. So CAD is up. If you remember the CAD analysis we have, we're coming to break this top. So CAD was a buy setup. If you took the trade, you probably got a few pips out of it. It's pulling back, which means we might end up with a running flat here and then upside. Break that up and then look for the downside, because this would just be a simple flat, a bigger flat for one more down. So on the shorter term, you probably look for a buy setup. Wait for it to pull back a little more and then look for a buy setup. Swiss, I was expecting it to drop. We're expecting this to make one more here. If they come down like this, that would be perfect buy setup, but it's gone up a little more. So I think we'll still expect this to come, right? So if you look at it on the higher time frame, this one has nothing to go with. So I think at some point we'll probably see a pullback here. We'll get a running flat, and then that will become a good buy setup. Can we get a sell here Monday? Possible. So keep your eyes out for that trade. Again, let me mention, if you're watching my video for the very, very first time, you might be confused. Because in most of the setups, you're looking at a possibility for a buy and a possibility for the sell. And in most of them, both of those are very likely to happen. The buy and the sell could happen within the same day. So the question is, how do you take the trade? So what's the setup you're looking for, and how would you take it? And that is why these short videos that I'll be putting out, that is going to be 30 seconds, will give you a clue of the trade, the immediate trade we're looking for. So I hope you guys liked it. We're testing it, and if it works, if we see that there's enough people viewing it and understanding how to use that trade, then definitely we'll continue doing it. If within a week I notice, well, there aren't a lot of people interested in this, then we'll just stop it, right? Because it's being done for you guys so that you get the notification, you manage to use that to your advantage, and don't lose, because you might be looking at the opposite side of the trade. You may see my trade and you may want to consider whether you want to even take the trade, or whether yours is the best, and then go ahead with it. But then you will still be more cautious, right, if you do that. So the idea is that we're trying to help you to see trades, actual trades for the day, that is going to help you, somehow in your account, not losing it. So let's go. I'm going to skip most of these because there aren't very much things happening in them, and you can get them if you join us live. So I'm going to make this very short. I'm going to do some of the indices and all of that. So natural gas, we're looking for buy. It's still a buy. Look for any buy setup you get in it. Oil, actually oil pulled back, so it's still a buy. right? It pulled back and we're going up. So that's a buy setup. We're expecting oil to come back to retest this top. If you look at a flat oil is in, we're looking at this as the flat, right? So I'm expecting it to get back to that level there. And we're still looking for a buy setup. So any flag would be a buy. S&P 500. So this is the one we post. Let me show you the trade of the day. Again, let me start by showing you what we're looking at in the charts. So this is what it looks like, S&P 500, right? We've got this move up. I think that's a corrective structure. So two ways you look at that. Either this is going to come down to this level and then go back up. We would look at this as a flat in the middle here. That's one option. Or we already have the flat in here. And this one is trying to come down. But because we have a lot of consolidation at the top there, the probability of one more up move, that is something similar to this, which means going back to the top there and then coming down, was pretty high. So Friday, when we had this move going up with a consolidation at the top here, when we have that sharp reversal with a consolidation there, if that thing has taken off, which means if it had broken this top and go, that would have been an amazing trade. Now that it didn't break the top and it dropped one more, well, just expect a running flat. One more down, right? So right now, what I think is going to happen is we're going to take this off. I think this is going to come here a little, go back up there, maybe make one more down because we'll look for a possible running flat here, right? I don't like this piece. It's pretty sharp. I don't think this by itself is a consolidation. So we'll look at this piece, see what happens. But if this consolidates a lot, if this here consolidates a lot, then you will get one more drop, you get a pullback, you'll get a complete running flat, and then you'll drop. The downside right now are not really aggressive. So unless we get this deep pullback, the downside is risky. It doesn't mean we don't sell it. If we get a sell set up, we take a trade. But you're aware that that might not be the big drop, not the one that gives you 3 to 1, 4 to 1. That might be the one you have to manage to get out for break even. But if we do get the pullback on Monday, any sell setup would be amazing. The same should go for NASDAQ. The patterns are the same, the setups are the same. And the same should go for US 30. Pretty much same setup. You can literally see this. Now, US 30 has a higher probability of us looking at this as a flat in the middle there because of this correction. So there's a good chance this goes back to the top. Come back down here and then probably go up. It all depends on how we look at this bigger pattern. Right, so right now, I think that is a very, very high probability. We'll see when Monday comes. If this is going to drop more, I would likely not be selling it because the risk of selling here is too high. Sell something else. Bitcoin, I'm going to do a few of these cryptos so because the Bitcoin is consolidating. We're coming down, but the consolidation is for the upside. Just like this consolidation was for upside, just like this consolidation. This consolidation is actually going to go up one more, at least one more. Because you notice they had a very deep pullback here, pretty much pullback deep. Now it's coming down. I can see this looking like a sell setup, which means it can drop one more. But at some point, this either goes back up here, come back and go, or literally take off. So at least once more breaking the top, even if it's going to go down. On the big picture of things, this is what you have. You're coming from the low point. This is the lowest point. And we're going up. It's not really corrective, right? It's getting impulsive. Corrective would be looking like this going up, right? Corrective would be looking like this going up. This is moving up relatively, sharp. So if you're looking at this after this consolidation, you're looking at this going up, there was a consolidation there, consolidation here, a pullback here, and then go. Even if you're looking at this, consolidation here, pull back here, and then go. We got a consolidation. We might be getting a pullback. And there's still a chance it could go. So as of now, it's looking upside. I don't see any reason to go much lower. Especially if you're trying to sell here, you would have to be careful. Although this could drop one more. I think that could drop one more. You have to be careful. Ethereum literally looks like a correction for upside, and Ethereum is in this big sideways move, which, if we know anything about patterns, would likely have to come here, even if you're going to go down. So from here, you continue to go up, or you come back down and then go up. Those are the options. But this trade here looks like a good one. So I think that trade to the upside makes sense. On the 4 hour, it makes sense. On the 1 hour, it makes sense. on any time frame. Even if it's going to go one more down, it's going to go one more down within this corrective structure. Probably just break this low and go back up. And almost the same for all of them. And almost the same for all of them. I'm not going to go through every one. This one is coming from the low. And this is coming from a low point. So you can see we got a flat, you got to pull back, you go, you get a pull back, you're probably going to go again. So these are just deep pullback for more upside. So I think they're going to go more upside. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to make this webinar too long. If you want the entire list that I have here, the details of all of these, and you would like to have it live, which means you're going to join us in a live trading session, either in the London session or the New York session, send me a Skype message. It's going to cost you, I don't know, less than a cup of coffee per session. And here is the good thing about it. The webinars themselves are still free, because the cost that is going to cost you per session is going to pay towards your training course. So we have an installment program which allows traders to save up money for the training course, which they can't afford in one go. Some traders take it in one go. Some traders pay it 5-6 times. It's all up to you how you want to pay it. That money is saving up for when you complete the payment of the course, you get into our group, you get lifetime access to everything we do, including about 5 sessions a day, live sessions a day. And, you know, all these live sessions that you're getting now while you're paying are absolutely free. But even if at any point you stop paying and you decide, well, I don't want this anymore, the cost per session would be less than a cup of coffee. Make your mind. Decide, you want to join a live trading session or you want signals. Signals are not good. Like the signal I post, that's a signal, right, of that trade. It didn't go, but you didn't know it didn't go. Right? By the time you figure out it didn't go, it would already broken the low. Whereas in the trading room, my traders got that update immediately almost. Once we posted it, they understand the setup, they understand where it's invalidated. And once we get into the next live session, I said, okay, guys, that's off. That trade is off. We're looking at these and these and these trades now. So that's the difference. And then if you take the trading course, you become an independent trader. We train you to become an independent trader. Have a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it as much as you possibly can, because there's still a lot of traders who would write me in the future with exactly the same thing, said they regret they haven't found me a year ago, 6 months ago, because they lost their account. And had they found me, they would probably save their account. That's almost a guarantee. I get that almost on a daily basis when traders join. Here's the thing. We're going to test it next week. In the live sessions, once I post it out, set up your notification to get the video to sign up once I post out, and you can share that link once it's out. Thank you very much. Bye.